right? So ladies and gentlemen, please be welcome to the Jose Cuervo Agaves Fields, also known as the Todos Santos and Buenos Aires ranches, right? Together we will explore the rich history, culture and flavors that make tequila so unique. So throughout this session I'll be with you just to ensure that you have the best experience possible, right? My name is Diego and I'm gonna be your tequila expert for the session for today. So it's an absolute pleasure for me to have you all here. Alright? And well, I have a question for you. Does the drink take its name from the town or the town from the drink? Do you know? The town from the drink? Nope, the drink from the town. Right? The name tequila comes from the Nahuatl word tequilan or teculan, which means place where it's good or place where it's work, right? So, then I have another question for you. Did you know, well, that tequila was illegal? Well, you're gonna get to know this on the distillery, but our founder, Don Jose Antonio de Cuervo Valdez, started the tequila production or the distillery in 1758, but it wasn't until 1795 that, for orders of King Charles IV from Spain, granted the permit to the tequila production. Alright? And here in the agave fields we have about 1 million agaves right here, only here. And to make 1 liter of tequila, we just need, well, we need around 14 pounds of agave, and each agave has an average weight of 18 to 120 pounds, right? So let me introduce to you the stars of our show of today, which is our jimador, Don Rigo. An applause please for Don Rigo. Right? Don Rigo has been a jimador for over 40 years, right? And this role has been passed down from generation, from father to son. His grandpa was a jimador, his father was a jimador, and probably his children is gonna be a jimador too, right? Now let's talk about our little blue friend right here, which is our agave plant, right? Do you know the actual name of our agave? Well, in Mexico we have more than 200 different types of agave, but only one gives us tequila, which is the blue Tequilana Weber, right? Now, talking about our agave, the name agave comes from the Greek word, agavus, which means noble or admirable, and for a good reason, and that is because our agave doesn't need irrigation, only relying on rainwater, right? That's why it's considered very noble, right? And another important thing to mention, well, only 5 states in Mexico can produce tequila. Well, drinks that can be legally named tequila, right? And those states are Jalisco, right here, Nayarit, or neighbor. We have Guanajuato, where the mummies are. Then we have Michoacan and Tamaulipas. Only these states can produce drinks that can be legally called tequila. Drinks made outside of these regions cannot be legally called tequila. Those are gonna be more like an agave drink or something like that, you know? Or like an aguardiente, right? So, even though inside these regions, not all drinks can be called tequila, because we need to follow a certain guidelines to make the tequila, right? And well, this is something called the designation of origin. So if you are a lawyer, you're gonna know what I'm talking about, right? So we have 2 different reproduction methods. The first one is the sexual. In the sexual, we have a female agave that at maturity, a tall tree grows from the core of the agave that is gonna be called quiote. The quiote is gonna grow from here, from the core, and seeds are gonna form and flowers bloom at maturity. With the seeds are replanted elsewhere, right? However, this process is too slow and we don't do it because it takes over 12 years. And tequila is like at the start of the terrace. We have like a little tree. You see it? That is the quiote. All right, the little tree that you see on the terrace, that is the quiote. Well, however, instead we use the asexual reproduction method, where around the 4th year, small shoots called hijuelos, like these little agaves, start growing around the mother plant, right? So what do? So our jimador, Don Rigo, is gonna take his tool called barreton, and he's gonna gently remove the hijuelo. Gently, right? So we remove the hijuelo so we can replant it. Alright? It's like the easiest, and we don't need too much time for it. Now he's gonna do a series of cuts, and he's gonna trim the leaves just to check the health of the agave. Right? So here we have a healthy hijuelo, and it's ready for replanted. How do we know if it's healthy or unhealthy? Well, if it's healthy, it's gonna have a white stain at the bottom. If it's unhealthy, it's gonna have a red stain. Alright? So, what do? Now, Don Rigo is gonna show us how to replant our hijuelo. That is the way that we ensure the future of the agave's fields. It's gonna dig a hole on the ground, it's gonna put it inside, and it's gonna finish it with a traditional zapateado. So, how did it look? Easy? Who say easy? I need a volunteer. You? Come on. A volunteer.
I wasn't paying attention.
Right, so just be careful. You can just one hand. We dig a hole with just, well, for replanting, yes, but now we have to wait. How much time? Well, an agave on it.
4 years?
4 years. No, at 4 years we start with maintenance and care. But an agave, on average, we need to wait between 7 to 8 years to do the actual harvest, right? So now, what do we need to do? Well, we need to wait until the 4th year. Around the 4th year, we're gonna start with a series of cuts for maintenance and care, right? So sometimes we see agaves that are big agaves with beautiful pencas or leaves, and we think, oh, it's gonna be really good for tequila, but it's not. The beautiful of the agave doesn't mean it's gonna be good for tequila. We need to have a good concentration in the core, and for that we did a series of cuts for maintenance and care. So at 4th year, we're gonna start with the first of the cuts that is gonna be called farolito. This one is just like to remove any pest or bugs that is in the agave. In this way, it helps the jimadores do their work safer, so that they don't pinch with the spikes, alright? So, what's next? Well, another year has passed, and we're gonna do another cut that is gonna be called arbolito, or little tree, just by the shape it takes. So with each cut that we do, the concentration of vitamins and chemicals becomes stronger in the core. So it's like the defense of the agave to all the chemicals and antivitamins go inside the core, right? So another year has passed, and now we're gonna do the 3rd cut that is gonna be called escobeta. In escobeta, we remove the central part of our agave. We remove the cogollo. The cogollo is the central part of our agave where the leaves or the pencas grow. And to remove and avoid any bitter elements or flavors in our tequila. Alright? So, another year has passed, and now we're going to do the final cut that is going to be called castigado, or punish. We literally punish the agave so we can stress out the plant and get the most of it. So, I have a question for you. Is he ready?
No.
No, it's not ready. It's not that simple. Now, our Himador is gonna take the most iconic of his tools that is gonna be called the koa. The koa is used for the actual harvest, the hima, right? So, what Don Rigo is gonna do now is gonna literally shape the agave. I mean, shape all the leaves, all the pencas, so we can do the actual hima, right? This way, we avoid any bitter flavors in our tequila, right? So, Don Rigo, on an average, I don't know, in 8 hours of work, he replants around between 2,500 to 3,000 hijuelos per day. He harvests around 400 agaves per day. Well, this one, he says that it's a bigger agave, but on the average agaves, the ones that are a little bit more small, he does around 500 to 700 per day. So it's a hard working labor, and it's all doing by hand. There is no machine that can replace the work that Don Rigo and the Himadores do, right? So now what Don Rigo is doing is literally shaving the agave. The word or the name of hima comes from the Nahuatl chima, which means to shave, right? Once our agave is completely shaved, it's gonna take the name of piña or pineapple just by the shape it takes. Now that it's harvested, it takes the name of piña or pineapple, right? This one is a big agave. It weighs around 140 pounds. This one right here. When you get to know the distillery, you're gonna see that the hornero, the person that is responsible for the cooking of the agave, he just cut it in half with an axe and carry it on his head. It's a labor doing by hand. So now Don Rigo is gonna do another type of hima. ¿Puedes hacer un estilo poquito más? This style of harvest or hima is for the Reserva de la Familia. Reserva de la Familia is the premium line of Jose Cuervo, alright? Some of you that are in the diamond or elite experience are gonna taste the Reserva de la Familia, so don't worry, right? So, I have a question for you. What's gonna be inside? Is it gonna be like a coconut with water, with tequila? Or is it gonna be a bottle of tequila waiting for us? Well, let's find out. So as you can see, it's a composition of solid, fiber, and water, and something important that has our piña is the inulin. The inulin on the cooking is gonna transform into sugar. On the fermentation, the sugars are gonna become alcohol, right? So now Don Rigo is preparing a little snack for you if you want to try the agave like this. If you want, just make sure if you have allergies, please don't do it, right? And now I'm just gonna ask you for a big applause for Don Rigo. So if you want to try